According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, about 1.5 million people are arrested each year for driving under the influence. Joining us now is Morgan Legal Group's Russell Morgan. Russell, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure having you on. First off, with the 4th of July coming up so soon, how likely are the chances of encountering someone driving under the influence on Thursday or maybe even that following weekend?
Encountering somebody is very likely. Driving drunk is one of the highest causes of traffic fatalities in the United States. Drunk driving kills an average of 28 people every day across the United States, amounting to almost 10,000 deaths every year.
Wow. I mean, and that's obviously, I have to imagine with things like, the legalization of, marijuana and things like that. I mean, I assume that number is probably only going to rise, right?
Of course. So alcohol is just part of it. Driving under the influence is one of the biggest killers of traffic fatalities as a whole. And unfortunately, those numbers don't incorporate things like marijuana, for example. So the numbers likely significantly higher.
Yeah, and with the rise of ride-sharing apps like Lyft or Uber, how much easier has it become for people to not get in their car and drive home?
There are so many options you have to have a safe ride home, from Ubers to taxis to private drivers. There are even apps that will send somebody to drive your car back home. The point is, always try to plan ahead for a safe ride.
Yes, absolutely. What are maybe some tips people should keep in mind when partying and, consuming alcohol on the 4th or really any other patriotic holiday we have in the year?
Well, first and foremost, of course, just don't drink and drive. Number one, your alcohol impairs brain function. It impairs thinking, reasoning, coordination. These are major behaviors that control what you're doing while you're driving. And the more alcohol someone consumes, it increases their BAC, or blood alcohol concentration, which increases the risks of things like accidents and injuries.
Yeah, and then one more quick question here for you, Russell. If people do end up drinking too much to drive home safely, what options would you recommend in order to bring them, and others back home to their families safe?
Whether it be a ride-share app, an Uber, a Lyft, or a taxi, or simply crashing for the night, anything is better than driving drunk. You're not only putting yourself in danger, you're putting the lives of the people in your vehicle in danger, and most importantly, the public at large. So just don't do it.
Absolutely. Well, that is all the time that we have for our interview today. Russell, thank you so much again for coming on to the show.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely.